Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, my name's Orla, and if you're new, I'd really appreciate if you click the subscribe button below because I post videos quite often. Not as often as I'd like, but we're getting there, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. So today I thought I'd do something a bit different, and that is take you through my bullet journal. But I mean, mine is quite basic. I like to keep it quite simple because most bullet journal tutorials are quite confusing and people get so extra with them, and it is so confusing and I haven't a clue what to do the way people do some of them. So I'm going to take you through mine because I've only had a month of it so far, so I thought I would show you through what I've done, and then basically you can see how I plan the month that's going to come. So I'm going to show you how I plan for April. So basically I'll just start off with the wee notebook I got, and this isn't sort of like the typical bullet journal you would get. The person that actually came up with the bullet journal idea sells journals. I think it's on an online website, so I'll link that below, but they are quite expensive, but I'd say they probably are worth the money. So I got this in like a really random shop in Bristol when I was over for an interview, and it was the quirkiest, cutest little shop, and I just loved it as soon as I seen it because the illustrations in it are just so cute. So I'll just like show you what it's like on the inside. So this little section, I don't even know what to use this for, but basically it has little stickers which are adorable, and they're the same like sketches inside, and they have these wee like brown paper bags. So I want to try and make use of that somehow. If you know what these are for, please let me know because I honestly haven't a clue. It's actually meant to be a sketchbook for people who draw flowers and plants and stuff like that. But I really love that kind of, you know, look about notebooks, and I love nature, so I'm just going to use it for this anyway. And here I have the first page. Apart from the actual like weekly planner, monthly planner, whatever, a lot of people add in different stuff. And what I love about a bullet journal is that it's sort of a planner but a creative journal sort of put into one. It's sort of whatever you make of it. Like if you want to make it more creative and more sketchy, you can do that, but I know a lot of people just like to make it a bit more practical. Mine's is sort of in between, but it's really handy because the whole book's illustrated, so it saves me having to like draw those on every page, but it just makes the pages look so much prettier. And what I've done on these two pages is wrote an index. It's not really the most useful thing, like I probably wouldn't put it in if I was doing it again, but I suppose it's handy if you know what you want to go to. And on this page I have the key. These will say what I have to do or if I have done it. So a tick means you've completed it, an X is that you haven't completed it, and a dot is either that you've done some of it or you haven't like quite finished it yet. And this one is to say that it's been moved or rescheduled, and the arrow forward I use for if I'm like putting it forward, but sometimes I'll have a task that I'll put backwards, which you'll see later on. But and then basically this is my yearly goals. It's even embarrassing I'm showing this, but sure, why not. So the reason I basically made this journal is so I can stick to these goals and achieve them. So that's that page, and then on this page is basically just brainstorming from YouTube videos. I have this just for writing down any ideas that I have. So I think it's useful to have that, so if I have any ideas I can just write them down quickly in that. And on this page I have a YouTube/blog schedule. I wouldn't recommend this for people who are like me and are quite easygoing and not too good at sticking to a schedule with YouTube videos, because sometimes like what has happened here is I'm doing okay mostly, but when it's gotten to this sort of week recently, there's been videos that I've wanted to do instead, and obviously videos are pushed back, so the videos are pushed back like a whole week or 2 weeks, and it's just gotten a bit confusing. So I probably wouldn't do that again. I would just do the video list and tick if I've done it rather than putting dates down, because it just doesn't work for me. And on here I have a list of books that I want to read. My aim is to read at least one book a month, and I know that's not a lot for some people, but it's just because I'm in school at the minute and it's sort of hard to read outside, like especially because I'm doing English Lit. So probably in summer I'll read a lot more. So this is my list at the minute. And then on here I have my bucket list, recipe ideas, which I haven't even written yet. I'll probably write more, you know, as I said, in summer. And I've also put in a dream journal because I find it quite interesting to read back. and this is my first page. So what I like to do is for each month, I think this is what I'll do anyway, is do like a wee spread before, you know, any of the like weekly plans. Just sort of like a wee creative kind of page. So obviously for April I won't be able to fill this out until it's over because I like collecting wee random things to put into it. So for this month I've done like wee flower presses, and I've also put in a couple Polaroid pictures from March and just a couple of random doodles. And on this page I have a habit tracker and an anxiety/stress level, and I do find this quite useful. I think I'll definitely keep the habit tracker the same, but what I might do with the anxiety stress level is just change it to sort of like a mood, because the reason I've done this is because I'm struggling quite bad with anxiety at the minute, and I wanted to see if my habits aligned with my anxiety. So say I haven't been doing as many of these like productive things, I wanted to see if my anxiety went up or down, and I haven't actually like joined this up yet. So I just sort of drew in that so you can kind of see better how my anxiety or stress sort of went up and down during the month. And this is quite useful for tracking because it does sort of help me see what might trigger my anxiety. I think for next month, for April, what I'd like to do is a mood tracker as opposed to anxiety, because I want to see what moods I am each day rather than just my anxiety, because I don't think it's too good to focus completely on that, because there's obviously days that I feel happy throughout the month as well, so I want to be able to track that too, and then you get stuck into the weeks just. So each week it kind of changes the way I lay it out, but it's mostly the same as you'll see, and it's quite basic, but I really like the way it's working so far, so I think I'll just do the same for next month. So I just have Monday and my wee list, and then I put a wee reminders box and just a wee quote that I found, and then I do like the weekend sort of separate, because obviously the week's a very busy part of the week. Doesn't even make any sense, like, but you know what I mean. And the weekend sort of not as, you know, sort of hectic, so I like to just do like a wee separate thing for the weekend. And if I have any like things on that week, like for that week I had a hair appointment, so I put that in. And then for this page, it's actually a week on each page as opposed to a 2 week spread. So basically just the same thing you can kind of see, like I added my to-do lists. It really just depends. And this is this week currently, and that's basically it. I think what I'll do for each month is sort of like a different colour for the theme. So like March theme was very like blue and green, so I think for April I'll do something different, and we'll just get stuck into it. Basically I'm just going to leave this page blank because obviously I don't know what's going to go on it yet. I would do this at the end of every month. So now I'm just going to show you how I do the wee habit tracker, and then I'll obviously do something different for the mood tracker. So I'm just going to draw on that wee habit tracker quick now. That's the wee habit tracker done, and now I'm just going to move on to the mood tracker. So for this one I think I'm just going to do it like portrait on the page, because obviously it doesn't need as much space as the habit tracker did. So I'm just going to draw a wee title now. So I think what I'm going to do for this is just like split them into like wee square boxes, and then I'll do a key somewhere day, say like for whatever mood it was, I'll match it to a colour, so then I can just colour it in every day depending on what mood I had. So I just done 6 wee mood things. So I done happy, productive, sad, anxious, average and tired, and I'm just going to fill them in as they go along and during the month and see if they line up with the habit tracker. But I'm actually thinking I might do like wee doodles, because since it's Easter I might do some wee Easter eggs or something on the April page. So now I'm basically just going to kind of do like a wee rough plan of the week for next week, and I'm just going to take the 2 pages because why not? So for the weekly I just need to keep it quite simple, so I'm just going to use just a basic pen to write down the tasks, and then I'm just going to use these 2 pens to make it look pretty. I like to kind of like switch up the layout from time to time, so for this week I'm just going to do them in like wee boxes. So that's basically the weekly layout done, and I just kind of fill in like on the day that it is, like what my to-do list is or what I have to do in that day. And there's a few wee extra spaces, so I'll probably just fill those in with doodles, or sometimes I'll put in like a wee to-do list or a reminder. But I'll do as I said, I'll just do that as the week goes on. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this. Oh, ignore my lipstick swatch. I hopefully enjoyed watching it, and it gave you some inspiration of what to do in your bullet journal, because when I started out I wasn't really sure what to put in, so this might help you out with, you know, what you want to put in it. And of course it's really subjective because everyone has different priorities and things that they do, so just personalize it. There's no set way you have to do this. Like, I don't do it the way most people do it, but it's the way that works for me, so it's important just to find what works rather than just doing it because, you know, someone else is doing it. Do what you find useful. So hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you want. I'm open for a wee chat. And I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed as well. So that's it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! That was a weird bye. Bye! That was weird too. I'll just stop.